Welcome back to another installment of Common Sense, guys, where common minds come together because.
Common sense ain't that common.
Welcome back, everyone. And for today's topic, we will be talking about a legendary but overrated anime.
She might be alone on that one. She might have a little help. I don't know, but we're talking about Dragon Ball Z / Dragon Ball Super. A little bit of the franchise, except for Dragon Ball GT, because we can all agree that one's pretty good.
And Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, we're not wasting any more of y'all time. Let's get straight into the episode.
As D'Angelo was saying a little earlier, everyone knows that Dragon Ball Z is a legendary anime, iconic anime. Your favorite, the hoodest person you know knows what Dragon Ball Z is. Period. So, do you have a favorite Dragon Ball Z character?
Of course. Which side is it? I'm gonna have to go with my guy right here, Vegeta. Not arguably, has the best character development in Dragon Ball Z. And, I just really like how not only him going from a villain and being one of the good guys and being a family man and caring about his family and his friends, but I think that Saiyan pride that he's always talking about, I think that goes a little deeper than what people make it out to be, especially since, he's always the second runner up. He's always getting beat all the time. So when you hear him talk about the Saiyan pride, people just often laugh at Vegeta. But when you look at what he went through with Frieza, him working under Frieza, and then Frieza just wiping out his entire planet. And then not only that, but him not having the chance to obviously defeat Frieza, and then to watch Goku obviously get stronger than him. That's why I think he values strength so much and his pride so much. And so I just think he's just an amazing character, and that's why he's my favorite.
When it comes to me, I kind of edge a little bit more towards the villain side. My favorite Dragon Ball Z character is Cooler, just because when he came up on the scene, it was probably one of the coolest things I've seen. I'm an older brother as well. Cooler is obviously the older brother of Frieza. And I think his second transformation is the coolest looking transformation in the entire Dragon Ball Z series.
Really?
But the way the mask grows and it kind of like shuts down, and he has like the almost like the Triceratops bones looking things coming out, I think that is so tough. And he went through a Kamehameha as the intro, and I thought that was hard. But going on to the show and kind of us critiquing it like we did Jujutsu Kaisen not too long ago, we'll start off with character development, because we're going to grade this on character development, plot, and world building to really tell how good the anime was. So we'll start off with character development. So we're going to do grades. What grade do you give Dragon Ball Z's character development?
Now, Dragon Ball Z fans, listen. If you cannot handle criticism of your favorite anime, leave right now. I'm telling you to leave.
They're the international haters.
They are, but it's fine. I'm going to have to give it a D.
Okay. Why?
And the only reason why it's a D is because when you take a look at Dragon Ball Z, we all know who it's based around. You know who's going to win every battle. You know who's going to get a new transformation every fight. You know who's going to become the victor. And and I haven't even said the name. It's Goku. And, you have a Vegeta who gets occasional love. Barely. But outside of Vegeta, Piccolo, and Gohan, who really has character development?
But as far as character development, I give it a D as well. I think Goku and Vegeta being the main characters for this long of an anime. Dragon Ball Z has been out since the 90s. Goku and Vegeta are not only still alive, they are still the focal point of the show. I think that's kind of lazy writing, if you ask me. I honestly think they kind of shifted away from what they were doing on Dragon Ball Z, which was showing Gohan get better and better. Because as you saw, Gohan had scary spurts where he was just like wait, what did he just do? Like when they went to Namek and he was able to fight Frieza for a little bit, or when he was fighting Raditz a little bit. He had scary spurts, and then the Cell Saga where he all put it together. It was like, okay, this is the transition where Goku was finally passing the torch, and he died.
Yeah.
Just to come back,
right?
And Gohan to be a scholar, and all of the cool stuff about Gohan went away. The Beast movie doesn't even save him, in my opinion. It was cool to watch, but we know who the focal point is. It's still Goku as the main guy.
And I'm sorry, I enjoyed that Super movie. It was a good movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I will say that was a really good movie. But even what they did with Cell was kind of like,
if you gonna bring back Cell, bring back
the real Cell. Like, why you playing with us?
And another thing, why are current Trunks and Goten aging like Stewie Griffin? Why
that is true. That is true.
They should at least be late teenagers by now.
Yeah.
We've seen Goten and Trunks fuse. We've seen them for so long, and they have stayed the exact same age as everyone else has grown. And it is so weird to see, because it's like,
except for in the movie,
right? It's like,
but they aged them up in the movie. But
why? Those should be the focal point characters. This should be, instead of Goku and Vegeta, which are really good characters, it should be based around Gohan, Goten, current Trunks, and maybe still Piccolo a little bit. Those should be the guys that it should be made around.
Because I was gonna say, some people gonna have a bone to pick with you about that, taking Goku out of the story. Because
I feel like they set everything up for him to pass the torch to his son.
They did.
Goku still being the main character as if All Might was still the main focus of My Hero Academia. After it's literally set up for someone to get passed down. Like, Goku had the elite transformation, all of that, but to me, it was all building up. And even he himself was like, Gohan is the guy. And we saw that during the Cell Saga, because he beat Cell. So he was the guy, and that's why I think, I give it a D, because this should be about Gohan at this point, in my opinion. Has Goku had character development? What has changed about him since Dragon Ball Z?
I mean, they completely destroyed the little character development they had in Super.
Him is completely gone.
Yeah, in Super, like, they literally took Goku and made him an idiot. He was already dumb before.
Yeah, he was already a little slow.
He was a little slow before.
But he had a serious side to him.
Right, like...
Yeah, he really did. Like, he could flip the script just a little bit and be like, hey, I'm not playing on it. I think we'll really be able to test it when they see what they do exactly with Broly, if they keep going on with that. Because I feel like you have to try to develop that. You have to at least try. Especially with the route that they're taking.
Best thing to come out of Super.
Okay, so next topic we're going to go is world building in Dragon Ball Z. I'll go first. I'm going to actually rate this a B, believe it or not. Because the world building to me is simple. Obviously a food chain now that they're introducing gods and everyone else. They're clearly at the top. And then we have Saiyans who are clearly what everyone wants to be. That's the primal focus of the show. The also rule of the world is Goku wins every battle. That's a primary rule. Everyone knows we don't go outside of Goku winning.
All right. So when I think about world building, I'm going to give it a C.
Okay.
I give it a C because the world building, like you said, isn't bad. It's simple. And sometimes simple is the best route to go. Yeah. Specifically in an anime like Dragon Ball Z, where it's literally just fighting and training and fighting. But the reason why I'm giving it a C is because it lacks in comparison to other anime.
Right.
And so if I'm putting example like...
Hold on, save that for plot. I know where you're going, so save that a little bit for
Okay. I'll save it.
And also one of the rules that I've seen while watching Dragon Ball Z is if Goku can't save the world's just going to blow up. So if he can't save it, Majin Buu's going to blow it up. He blew up Namek.
All right.
If he can't save it, it's blowing up in the smithereens, obviously.
And there are no stakes, because it's just kind of like Dragon Balls.
So it leads us to our last thing, plot. So I'm sure you're going to have a lot on this as the plot of Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Super. It's a little blurred, if you ask me, but what do you think about the plot?
You said I'm going to have a lot to say about it, but there isn't a lot to say about it because there really is no plot.
Hey.
I'm going to give it a D.
Okay.
Because... You know what? Actually,
I give it a C.
I'm okay. I was gonna say I'm being a little bit too harsh. I'm gonna give it a C.
Give it a C.
I'm gonna give it a C because there are some legendary moments in Dragon Ball Z.
The most iconic transformation in history. I'm sorry. I know how you feel about this, but him turning Super Saiyan is the most iconic transformation in anime history. The most iconic.
I would say that. I would agree with you, but even though there are certain transformations that I would put over it, only because I'm not a huge Dragon Ball Z fan.
I'm not either.
But I'm just gonna be honest. But if we're talking about plot, it's lazy and it's repetitive. Evil guy comes down to Earth. We have to train. Oh, we're in a crunch time. Let's go into the hyperbolic time chamber. Something to speed this process along. We may struggle a little bit. Goku gets a transformation. Goku beats the villain. Everybody's happy. Yay! Another villain comes. We're gonna train again. Goku beats him again. We win. Yay! Another villain comes, but this time Vegeta may come, and then Vegeta gets his butt whooped, and then Goku beats the villain. We all live. Yay!
The reason I stopped watching anime was due to Dragon Ball Z's plot. I think it just being so simple and just about fighting kind of turned me off from anime a little bit. Because just like, if this is the peak, if this is what people are like, this is it right here. I was like, bro, it can't be for me then.
Oh my god, don't get me started on Dragon Ball Z fans. Like, okay, let me just say this. Okay. Dragon Ball Z when I was 9 was amazing. It was great.
Greatest thing ever.
But we literally went back to watch the legendary Broly movie,
which is one of the most
iconic movies, and I loved that movie as a kid. Yes. I couldn't stand it now. Yeah, I was like, what is this?
It's like bailed out of just every situation because it's just like, oh no, we can't have our main character lose. We can't be doing that. Like, Cooler is waxing Goku a majority of the fight. Goku turns Super Saiyan, heal a bird. Bro, what is going on?
Where is he healing a bird?
Bro, I'm gonna put it in the clip. Healing birds, and it's just he turns into a god. Like, I'm just like, wait, what is going on? It makes no sense, the stuff that Goku gets away with. I gave the plot a C, and I think it also suffers from no subplots. In anime, there's kind of multiple things going on, some multiple storylines. What you're seeing in Dragon Ball Z is the exact plot.
And I'm convinced that Dragon Ball Z fans don't watch regular anime. Like all they do is watch Dragon Ball Z, and then they'll just be like, you know what? Dragon Ball Z is just the best because who beating Goku though? And that's the only thing they got to say, or because of the fights and nostalgia. But that can only carry you so far. Like,
so I know they call it the Godfather of anime, which I believe it is. I honestly do believe it is. But I don't think that means that it has to hold such a supreme place in anime all the time. Like, even with older players, like older basketball players, you know, look, man, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was never gonna be the best big man forever. Like, that wasn't gonna happen. Like, people get surpassed in certain things because what Dragon Ball Z is great at, other animes have, especially the current gen animes, have become better at. When it comes to fight scenes, I mean, you could throw Jujutsu Kaisen in there. When it comes to animation, you could throw Demon Slayer in there.
Story is not even a discussion.
There's so many different things. Like, I would even say I haven't watched One Piece, but even the Naruto, Bleach of the big three, they're still kind of out-edging Dragon Ball Z, if you ask me, in a lot of departments. I think everything that we rated on this episode about Dragon Ball Z would have been higher if we were rating a different anime.
It just doesn't rank up to other anime, in my opinion. And it will always... It will always be... Everything surrounding Dragon Ball Z is fire. The merch... Go crazy. Right. The iconic transformations.
They got the best anime video game in history.
Listen, Sparking Zero.
Listen, the best one ever.
I didn't get Sparking Zero, but seeing the Super Saiyan 4 form made me want to get it.
Introduced us to anime, but it doesn't make them the supreme. Like, I wouldn't even put Dragon Ball Z in my top 5 right now.
No, it's not in my top 5 either. And then they ruined it by doing Super. Like, you're just beating a dead horse. Let the horse die. Cause in Super, there's only like, from what I've watched, I haven't read the manga. I've only watched the anime. There's only two things that I enjoyed, and that was the Goku Black, Zamasu arc, and the Tournament of Power. And even in the Tournament of Power, they just so happened to piss me off with that ending to the tournament with Frieza and Goku. How do you fumble a moment to have Vegeta and Goku? Like, I'm sorry. And then, don't even get me started on the transformations. We're just changing hair color at this point. I will give Dragon Ball Z this. Mm-hmm. It's hard to compare anime across generations.
Right.
Because not only when it comes to fights, you got to think about animation. Mm-hmm. You got to think about the difference in storytelling, because people were influenced by Dragon Ball Z. That's important to point out. Definitely. But I do think it is hard to compare across generations and across eras. Mm-hmm. But if we are, it's not even close. To me, right. It's not in my top 5.
It's not. And that's not a bad thing. Let us know if Dragon Ball Z is in your top 5. Let us know if you disagree with anything that we're saying about the anime. If it's your favorite anime, defend it hard. Y'all in the last comment section was defending Jujutsu Kaisen. Some of y'all wasn't rocking with it. Some of y'all agreed. I like, honestly, a lot of the comments and responses we got.
But I do have a question for the viewers as well.
Okay.
For those of you that were around and have watched the old school anime that came out around the same time as Dragon Ball Z, how do those anime compare to Dragon Ball Z? So the Yu Yu Hakushos, the Inuyashas, the Sailor Moons, how do they compare to Dragon Ball Z? Because there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, you know what, Dragon Ball Z brought the popularity to the Western world. There was no other anime that was better than Dragon Ball Z. So I want to hear y'all opinion on that. Was there old school anime that ranked up there with Dragon Ball Z? It just didn't get as much love? Let us know in the comments.
And definitely let us know if there's an anime that you want us to watch and review, because we can work on that. We can definitely do some more stuff when it comes to anime, and we love talking about it. Mm-hmm. But you got anything else?
Nope, that's all I got. All I got to say is subscribe. That's all I got to say.
Definitely do that. That's going to wrap up our episode. Common Sense out.